So we're live, yeah? Yeah. All right, everyone. Welcome to Jamie's Locker Room Talk. Today we're live again from The Haven. The Haven, as I always say, is a non-profitable organisation. Whatever money is made here through coffees, cakes, and whatever stays here, goes back in here. People that work in here are either in recovery or in are doing schemes from like the dole and stuff to get an extra few bob in the dole. So if you're ever passing Bachelor's Key, just by Knock Cinema, pop in, get a coffee, cappuccino, cake, whatever, and it goes to a good cause, you know. So this week we have Ger Banks on the show. Thanks for coming in, Ger.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Not a bother.
I love what you're doing with the show, and I love that it's happening from the
Just
Haven.
throw that up. Yeah.
I love that it's happening from the Haven as well.
Yeah.
This is a great organisation doing great things in Cork.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Ger. So just to let people know, I met Ger I met him a couple of times through here, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it was 2 weeks ago, I suppose, we went down to Middleton, and there was I was at Carmel through a mutual friend here. Carmel was telling me that these Choctaw Native Americans are coming over to celebrate a gift that was given back during Irish famine times, and I was kind of blown away, and I was like, geez, this is unreal. And so she invited me down, that there was people coming down, we were going to camp overnight, we're going to sit around the fire and have a chat and all this. So it was excellent. So I took her up on the idea, went to Middleton, met Ger, Carmel and James, and we got a few bits and bobs. We went down by the fire, we made a few sandwiches, we had our campfire and all that. But to tell people about what happened in or with the Choctaws, can you go back to that, if you don't mind?
Well, of course, definitely, and it's lovely to even talk about it, because many people wouldn't know about it. Basically, just to start from scratch, during the famine in Ireland, when Irish people had actually nothing, we didn't have anything. At this time, the Choctaw Indians from America, they were actually kicked off their own land, and they were going through very difficult times as well. So it's amazing to think that when these Indians were going through difficult times, they actually put in a lot of effort to get a lot of food and money to Ireland at a time when we had absolutely nothing. So then there was a statue, a monument built in Middleton, and it was dedicated as a thank you to the Choctaw Indians. And basically it was the official unveiling of this, and we went down to it. We wanted to get good seats at it, because this is something that we really like. So we went camping the night before, and it was fantastic camping the night before, really, to be honest. So then we got up the next day, and that's when things really started happening. I was lucky, and it was an honor for me. I grow oak trees, believe it or not, at home. And it was an honor for me to actually bring an oak tree. So we gave an oak tree to the chief of the Choctaw Nation as a gift from the people of Ireland, as a token of gesture. But as well as that, the oak tree was always seen as sacred in Ireland, and it was always seen as sacred amongst the Native Americans as well. So it was a gift of nature, and as well as that, you have, like, the oak tree produces the purest oxygen and all this kind of stuff, and has an amazing impact on the environment. So in many regards, the oak tree was always seen as a gift of life, a gift of nature, and a gift of longevity, because the oak tree can grow from 300 years up to an awful lot. The oldest oak tree in Ireland is about 3,500 years old.
Jesus, I did not. That's good. Good information.
Yeah. So it's an amazing gift to give somebody.
Yeah.
So that's what we done. We went down and gave a gift to the Native Indians, and it was beautiful. It was really amazing, and it was an interesting story how it came to be. So basically, I got onto the organisers a week before, and I said, I'd love what you're doing, and I'd love to bring an oak tree and give an oak tree as a gift from the people of Ireland to the Indians. And I was saying, would this be something that the organisers would be interested in? So they immediately said, yeah, we'd love it. Come on down with the oak tree. So as I went down that for the ceremony, I didn't know if we were going to be planting the oak tree or not. And so I was introduced to the chief himself. And when I showed him the oak tree and was given the tree, it was interesting. His response was like, wow, he got it. He got it straight away. He was just looking at me going,
crazy.
Nice one.
Yeah,
this is how we do it. And it was interesting. A member of the city council came over and said, look, I don't think we're going to be able to plant it today. I think we're going to have to plant it another day. And the chief said, no. We need to plant this today. I would love to turn soil with the people of Ireland. Can we make this happen today? And then the city council in fairness to them, they went away and got a shovel and came back, and that was it. So we planted a tree with the chief, and it was beautiful. So as we were planting the tree, like me and the chief were planting it, and then when we were only halfway through, something said to me, just jump back and leave all the kids do it. So we did. We stepped back, and all the kids got involved planting it. And it was just lovely. It was lovely. And so it's nice to think now that we have a statue of the feathers in Middleton, but next to it we also have a tree that was planted by both the youth of Ireland and by the chief of the Indians itself. A lot of people were saying to me that, oh, this is beautiful. Given a tree, it's an oak tree. It's very important, and it's very symbolic. And it was beautiful. But for me, myself, then, the most beautiful part about this was the tree itself was actually planted by my two nieces.
Oh, really?
Right? One is 4 and the other is 7. So they planted that tree and grew it from seed themselves.
Brilliant.
So it grew a few of them. So now they're kind of going,
that's
wow, our tree has been given to the chief of the Indians. But the beautiful thing about that is they're going to be talking about that in school to all their friends. So immediately it was a great way of connecting the youth of Ireland with the native Indians as well.
Yeah,
and from a very symbolic way, you know. So it was a privilege to be part of that, really, to be honest.
And you did great on the day, because everyone was kind of just standard. Like there must have been, what, 500-600 people?
There was a lot of people there, yeah.
There was a good setup, now, to be fair to them.
In fairness, there was a massive setup, yeah.
Because we were talking to your man from the town council, because Middleton used to have a town council, wasn't it?
It used to have, yeah.
And then the city kind of, I think all the towns got closed down or whatever, or the council, and so whatever money was left, they were like, let's erect this now with whatever cash we've left over. And it was funny, it's because the first thing I asked was, why Middleton? Why is there down, and it has not...
That's why everybody asked. Everybody asked, why Middleton? But the guy who actually made the statue himself, he's from Middleton.
That was it,
He's from Middleton. I don't know if there was anything deeper than that, I'm not too sure. But it has a lot of people looking into it. I think it's a beautiful thing to happen in Middleton and all anyway.
Yeah. And that's a piece of history that should never be forgotten. Like,
it should never be forgotten.
Because I didn't know nothing. I like Irish history, but I knew nothing of it, like, because I suppose it's one of them things that you wouldn't really hear of, like. And it's beautiful, like, because at the time, the Choctaw Indians were almost in their own kind of like Holocaust, you could say, like.
Massive. They were going through the exact same troubles as we were going through as well, like, So yeah, it was beautiful to plant a tree, because immediately when you planted a tree, so that's a very symbolic thing to do.
Yeah.
And the chief turned around to me and said, we're going to have to come back now.
Yeah.
We're going to have to come back now and see how the tree is going, how the tree is getting on. So I said to the chief, I said, cool. I said, we, the people, we'll look after that tree for you. So the thing that I'm looking at now is, fair enough, we have the tree growing, but I want to try get as many people at Cork to look after that tree, and to actually, if anyone's down there, even just to look after it and make your own imprint on it. So I'm thinking, even, like, obviously it's a small tree now at the moment, but I want to make kind of something around it too, as well, and get everybody involved. I wouldn't like getting schools involved, making a little project, because the oak tree was always very sacred in Ireland. So it's a great way of actually teaching kids the importance of nature and trees, and all this kind of stuff as well. So it acts on many levels, really.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it was a great day and great night, and it was unreal, and the conversations we were having over the fire, and
it
was
absolutely
lovely,
fantastic. Because what something like this does as well, it actually brings very like-minded, very interesting people together. So naturally, conversation becomes amazing, where you learn an awful lot. I would have loved to have. There was many times with the chief when I was talking to the chief, and again, there was no official ceremony and all this kind of stuff, but you could see the chief was mad to have a chat. I was mad to have a chat, but we couldn't really. But it was still lovely. It was still lovely to connect on that level. Definitely, yeah.
And he was. You could see he was delighted with it. Because he definitely spent the most time with you. There was like a queue of people coming up, shaking hands and all that. But he was like all about you, all about this plant. He wanted to get it done. And
it was interesting as well, because there was an official kind of a tent and people sitting down, and that's where we had the ceremony and the official speakers and all of this, And I was I think the last speaker to talk. And the talks are going on for a while, and you could see a lot of, naturally, if you're speaking at talks for a while, people lose interest and all this kind of stuff. So it was interesting. I started the talk and I said, from little acorns grow mighty oaks. I explained then the history of the oak tree and its significance in in Irish history and folklore and all of that. And I also was saying then, with the planting of the oak tree, we welcome the spirit of the Choctaw people into Ireland, and not just into Ireland, into Irish soil itself.
Yeah,
and the moment I said that, you could
gripping.
You could see the Choctaw delegates. They just woke up.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it was like, wow.
Yeah,
Everything just came together. So for me, it was amazing that tree actually got planted with the chief.
Yeah, and it was an amazing moment, like, because you have pictures on your Facebook as well.
Yeah.
And it's lovely, like, it is very nice.
And even for a few days after, I was kind of going, did that really happen?
Yeah, it's one of them.
How do you get to plant a tree with the chief?
Yeah.
Did that actually happen? Did that actually happen?
Because even speaking of, like, putting that bond of spirits into the soil of Ireland and just leaving it grow.
That's
like,
it, yeah.
That's because the Native Americans, out of any tribe, like, you if you were going to talk about spirituality, you'd speak about the Native Indians or the Native Americans straight away.
100%. And as well as that, when you talk about spirituality, you actually talk, like, Ireland has a very rich, deep spirit that a lot of people wouldn't know about. So when you look at even, let's say, the native Irish alphabet, the teachings of the alphabet, you look at the ancient teachings of Druids too as well. So the ancient teachings of Druids are actually very similar to the teachings of the native Indians, and that's a topic that I love talking about. And so that was the interesting thing between me and the chief. So when I was given the oak tree, he was going like, right, this is
something here.
This is something here.
This guy knows.
So basically, when, like, the oak tree that we planted, it's going to grow up to something like 300 years. So again, you're imprinting something, you're doing something beautiful. So, like, even when we're gone, that tree is still going to be here. So you're bringing in generations and generations of people, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
For anybody watching, anybody can plant an oak tree. My nieces planted lots of oak tree out the back garden, right? And fair enough, I kind of got them into it, but they love it now. They have trees. What kind of kids have trees? And it's a simple thing, just to plant an acorn. Like, my niece, she's 4 now, and she's probably got about 10 oak trees to herself. Like, I gave a few of them as gifts to different people, but she's got about 10 oak trees. They're small, but when in the space of, let's say, 10 years, she's going to be able to climb an oak tree that she grew herself from seed. That's
crazy,
cool.
Yeah.
Like,
that is cool.
That's
really
cool.
Yeah,
so even giving that, even
that
with
alone.
kids, that alone. And it's interesting, I was talking to my niece there one day, and my 2 nieces, and I said to them, you've no job, lads, do you? And they said, no, Joe, we no job. And I said, you've no money, do you? They said, no, Joe, we no money. And I said, look, it's not fair sometimes at Christmas that we have to give ye money for you to get us presents. And I said, that's not really fair. Like, they would say, no, it's not fair. So I said, what about this, right? What if we grow all those trees, right? And then at Christmas time, what we're going to do is you're going to be able to give trees as Christmas presents to people. And imagine that. Imagine a 4-year-old. Imagine you get a gift of an oak tree from a 4-year-old that she actually grew herself. That's amazing, right? So that's why I'm encouraging even my nieces to not just give presents of trees to family, but give presents of trees to people in their class and stuff like that. It's a lovely thing. And wouldn't it...
And even have it down the back of the classroom, you know what I mean?
Simple. So, like, even from, let's say, with oak trees and stuff like that, even getting kids collecting acorns, planting oak trees and stuff like that, when they grow, they can actually give them as gifts. And
it is a lovely thing.
So there's, just on another point as well, in fairness, there's a Gael school in Ballincollig. It's an amazing Irish school. So I wasn't talking to them one day about planting and native Irish trees and all this. So they're very interested in growing the native Irish trees in a little nursery. And so they were asking me then, they were saying, what will we do when the trees start growing? We'd love to grow the trees and teach all the kids about them, but what would we do when the trees grow? Right, that's a brilliant place to be. So what you do is when the trees are growing, the kids then give them as a gift to the old folks home. And the kids can plant them with the elderly people.
Jeez, that's a great connection then again, like,
massive.
You know what I mean?
So there's a group in Mayo. They've done amazing work. They were looking at old folks' homes. And what they learned is they gave everyone the old folks' home a flower, right? So when the elderly people started looking after the flower, watering it and all of that, it's actually very important for us to give love and affection to something.
Of course,
right?
Yeah.
It's really good for your health. So as they were all giving love and affection to the flowers and all that kind of stuff, their own depression decreased. Their medication, over time, their medication decreased. They actually lived a bit longer. So with the knowledge of what we've learned from that, I was thinking, wow,
Jump on
let's
that. Like.
get the kids to actually all plant trees. And what about giving the kids, getting the kids to give gifts then to the old folks home? Imagine an elderly person who's coming to the end of their life, right? And they get a gift of a tree from a kid.
Yeah.
So now, and they get to plant that. That's a beautiful thing for any elderly person.
Because some of them aren't even getting visits, never mind presents. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Exactly. Just a very nice thing as well, like, you know, so that's something that I'm definitely fond of,
Christ,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I asked you on the show, because the minute I was talking to below in Middleton, I just connected straight away. You have this aura about you by that. You think in depth about everything, you know, and it's a great way to be like. And I don't think enough people are doing it anymore. We kind of just, fuck it, sorry.
I understand that. But I suppose I like even my own background and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into it too deep. There's many realms of it. But even my nan, her name was Mary Tone, and her family was the family of Wolfe Tone. So I learned a lot about Irish history and heritage growing up that a lot of people wouldn't have learned. So I was introduced to this from a very young age. And I think it's important to say that you were introduced to it. Because even I'm learning this, I love it. But still, I've been learning it for 30 years and I still only know 5%. So it's a kind of, even when you're getting into it, it does kind of change the way you think about a lot of stuff. And you start realizing that the most important aspect of life is the environment that you're in. So how you change aspects of your life is how you change, by changing your environment. And looking to create healthy environments and all of that. And that's the biggest seed that was planted in my mind when I started looking into the Ogham alphabet, the trees, the oak, all that kind of stuff. And even just Irish heritage and culture in general. You know, we have many people don't realise we have a really intelligent country. We have really creative people in Ireland, and you look into the thing called the A's Dána. There was the creative people were always respected in Ireland for a very long time. And we definitely need to get back to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Big time, yeah.
Because even with Joe, the ghost, as he likes to be called, I've that night alone, like, if I should have been taking notes, because...
You don't need to, you can meet him anytime. He's probably watching here now anyway.
He's the coolest guy I've ever met. And the stuff he knows is just out of this world, because... So, you know, I'm just getting this up because just in case people comment. But, like, he was talking about reading rocks, about... reading trees, about reading branches. He gave me a present of just like what I would call driftwood, but he goes out into like a drained river, and whatever floats up, he goes down, he can read. And it's brilliant, like, because...
and the thing is too, like, for somebody listening to say something that might sound a bit crazy, right? But the thing is, he's been doing this for a very long time. So he's like a scientist or a doctor or an engineer, and to even say those words might be a bit disrespectful to him.
He's that much into it, like.
He's heading towards a kind of, he's like a kind of master of all that kind of stuff. You look in, let's say, in China and place, you've got Shaolin masters and monks and things like that, and he's kind of lived his life that way as well, like,
in
you know,
Irish,
but from an Irish perspective.
And that's a great way to describe it, really.
Even when you look at Ireland, you look at all the old monks of Ireland, and what they had done and achieved was absolutely outstanding. And a lot of people wouldn't realise that, because you look at Ireland, you look at let's say the Roman Church influence and all of that kind of stuff. But there's also the other side of Ireland as well that was here for a very long time. And before all that. And I'm not against anything. I'm just saying but it's just... the knowledge and wisdom of that is amazing to tap into.
Because he was even speaking of Newgrange, and you all know, like, obviously, you'd be way more advanced than me. I was just sitting there, I just felt like...
not. There's no such thing as more advanced. We've been just looking into it for a long time.
That's all. But that's what I mean,
That's the only difference.
And I didn't feel out of place or anything. I felt a part of it. But I was just like a
part of it. You are from here. And
exactly.
That's why when you talk about this, it's kind of like it's speaking to your very DNA. It's speaking to you. It's like,
that's exactly it.
We're being filled of crap all the time. And like, this is like, wait, no, actually, there's something to this. There's something to this.
It's like the little stories are being told when you're in, like, in junior infants and senior infants about the swans on the lake and all these little, the Cú Chulainn and all these little legends that you actually forget about as you grow up, because you're listening to fucking Kardashians and all this shit, you know?
Yeah,
So,
the new priest in Ireland is Simon Cowell, really, isn't he?
yeah, exactly.
He's
yeah.
the bishop.
Yeah, Bishop Simon Cole. So,
Yeah.
so then when you got talking about it, and I just felt like I was entranced, like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just felt like a fly in the wall, just listening to everything that was going on. And Joe, he's like, or Ghost, we'll call him. He's like he's so energetic when he's telling the story because he's so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And he was just going all night and. The way, like, because when I came home, I went straight onto YouTube, like, that's all I was doing.
Imagine.
Watching videos on YouTube about how Newgrange and pyramids are actually connected. How, like, this goes way back, man. This is mind-blowing stuff, like.
It is. It's kind of, to be honest with you, and if anybody is starting to look into it, it's actually better to start slowly.
Yeah, definitely,
It
yeah.
takes a lot of time. And as you're learning this, it's opening your mind in a different way.
Yeah.
And if you try to go straight down the rabbit hole, you'd blow your mind
Yeah.
apart.
Comprehension, you wouldn't be able to comprehend it, I'd say, like, you know what I mean?
That's it, yeah. See, that's it. Yeah,
So, yeah,
definitely.
But but yeah, what a weekend. And obviously the same weekend I met James, and I was just talking about James owned the camper that you stayed in that night.
Yeah.
And he'd be a friend of Jers, and we were all just sitting around. He was speaking about Body and Soul, and I said, geez, actually Body and Soul, I said, I have a ticket, I won't be going, so if you know anyone that has a ticket, get on to me, I'll give it cheap, whatever, I just need a few. He was like, oh, okay, I got my Facebook already, but he was like, okay, but why aren't you going? And I was like, I'm living with a girl, she moved out, then whatever, I'm caught with the bills. He was like, oh, okay, €100 tie you over? And I was just looking at him going, probably would tie me over, but like, you probably don't even know my second name. Like, he probably doesn't. He probably still does. He probably does now because of Facebook. So I was speaking to Carmel before this, and she was like, it was so funny when he said it to her. She said, your face was. She said, it just shows, like, things happen for a reason. Like, she said, you had to, like, if someone said that to you before, she said, you wouldn't have accepted it, and I wouldn't have, because I would have said he wants something back for that, and I can't afford to give him something back. But he honestly didn't want anything back. Just wanted me to come have a good time with him. Gave me €100 into my hand, cash. Said, get a bus down to Waterford, meet me and my friend, and we're going to head on up.
Yeah.
And
well, you see, in life too as well, it's nice to give.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it really is. So that's where James would see that from, and he's a great man.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And for anyone who wants to look into James owns Natural Healing Tremor. That's in Waterford. So he's got a Facebook page. He does all.
Not with the electric one, but just on his own with spiritual stuff. And he was telling me that I'm after doing great work on myself. And he could feel the energy coming off. Like, he works with energies, like, and we. But he brought that with him up to Body and Soul, and he was the king up there. Like, you know what I mean?
I expect nothing less.
But brilliant weekend, and what a great guy. And I just met him purely because Carmel invited me. I got a bus down. I met you there, and I was saying it to Carmel before, and I said, there was something, she invited me, like, people invite me to things, I don't take them up on it mostly, but I couldn't leave this go. I said, I have to go down.
Yeah.
So it's just funny when you just break that threshold and just do things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Anything, the world is open, then, you know. And
the world is definitely open. Yeah, and I think what many people don't realise, even when you look from a health perspective, your gut is more intelligent than your mind.
Yeah, I believe that.
So we need to go with our gut more than our mind half the time.
That is feeding your gut. Then I suppose it's like acting 100%. On impulse and on a clever way, obviously. But
and as well as that, on that topic, that's why it's good not to eat too much crap food, because you are upsetting your gut intelligence.
Yeah.
Gut instincts and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So brilliant, yeah. So that was that weekend, and when we were down sitting around the fire, you were telling me that you're stuck in the Loch GA.
Oh yeah,
and
in fairness as well, fair play to Loch Rovers. Loch Rovers, just to congratulate them, Loch Rovers have won the county football, and they haven't won that in 70 years.
Excellent, well done.
So that's great for the parish and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
fantastic for the club as well.
And what was that under?
That was Junior C football.
Brilliant, yeah.
But it was great for the club, and fair play to everyone who was involved.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah. So shout out to them. Yeah. So you're stuck with them, and is the Rounders branching off the Loch, or is this your own thing?
So, like, basically what's happening now is, obviously, just to get things started, I'm involved in Rounders, right? Rounders is a great game. It's a great sport that a lot of people would have great memories of. A lot of people in Ireland love Rounders, but not many people are playing it. So I'm all about bringing back Rounders, right? Rounders is an official sport of the GAA. So there's 4 sports in the GAA: hurling, football, handball, and rounders. Handball is actually a training game for Gaelic football, practicing hand passing. But rounders is a training game for hurling, to improve hurling skill and all of that, you know. So I'm looking at developing an underage academy for Loch Rovers, like, you know, and then spreading it amongst GA, getting all clubs and stuff involved, schools involved in tournaments and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be talking rounders there as well.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at getting everybody involved. So to set the stage before I actually get into rounders, I'm going to recite a poem that I wrote. Right?
Excellent. Yes.
So I'm going to recite a poem that I wrote.
I said it before that I'm after biting off more than I can chew here,
That's
and I love
right,
it.
That's
I
all
love
right.
it.
That's all right.
Take the show away.
So again, I'm a personal trainer, so I'm just going to recite a poem that I wrote, right? The future of personal training is in training whole communities. It's with a joyous heart I sit and write, for we hold in our hearts great power and might. With a passion for health and to make life fun, encouraging whole communities to get out and enjoy a little run. The most beautiful part is training beginners, simply facilitating them to realize they are winners. What a joy it is to see an inner spirit awoken as they realize themselves this body is not broken. Like dynamos, cells awaken like bees in a hive when passion awakens that says, I'm alive. A person who once was living in a rut now walks down the street with a confident strut. The most beautiful thing is realized from afar, that you simply help them realize who they are. A ripple effect that can happen on a crowd is what makes a personal trainer happy and proud.
Jesus
So
Christ, that's absolutely
yeah.
excellent, man.
So just to get things started, I'm founder of a group on Facebook called the Cork Integrative Health Community. So basically, the future of medicine and the future of health is a thing called integrative medicine, right? So integrative medicine is the intelligent integration of Eastern and Western medicine, right? It's also the intelligent integration of left and right hemispheres of your brain, all that kind of stuff. So I set up a platform called the Cork Integrative Health Community. So, and as a platform for developing integrative health and the concept of integrative health. So I started looking at Cork from a whole, right? And looking at how can we actually improve the health of the city itself by creating functional communities. So the highest form of health is to be part of a healthy community. So I'm all about developing healthy communities. And we've been doing a lot of stuff. We've been doing a lot of great things with the Cork Integrated Health Community. There's a lot of people get involved with lots of things that we do, right? And it's fantastic. You have like street feasts, rounders. We organise a sleep out with homeless people in Cork. We've been looking at the water issue and how we can try get public access to water in Cork, because a lot of homeless people in Cork don't have too much public access to drinking water. So with that, I'm all about developing healthy communities. So I see rounders as a massive way of actually developing healthy communities. It's a great way to get kids out playing. Kids love rounders. It's a simple game anybody can play. And I've been playing this now a few years. The first time I started playing was about 2.5 years ago, and it became an instant success with adults. Adults playing full-on rounders at the Loch, right, on a Wednesday night. So what we had 2 pitches, 4 teams, 2 semi-finals, a final, and a third-place playoff. And what a crack! We had people from the age of 6 to 65 playing rounders, right?
Unbelievable.
Absolutely amazing. People were coming from everywhere, and I started realizing I actually think rounders is a cure for loneliness. Yeah. People from all over who didn't know anybody coming to rounders just to meet people, and that's great. It's a simple game, anybody can play. It teaches great skills, the whole lot.
Because even with, like, sorry to cut across, but even like with GA clubs, you feel like you have to be from that area. You have to be, and it's kind of just there. That's it. Yeah. And that's the GA. And whereas rounders it's totally different. It's a GA game, but it's totally different. It's completely different. Yeah, there's a lot more fun to it. Yeah, exactly.
It's all about fun.
Yeah,
and it's even interesting. Like when I'm playing rounders at the Loch, the kids keep shouting at me, the only rule is to have fun. Yeah. The only rule is to have fun. And that's great. That's great. And you see, like, there's an interesting part as well. So we had all adults playing. Absolutely amazing game when you're seeing adults play it properly, full on. It's like a new game, even though it's not new at all. So adults are playing great. And then kids started turning up, right? And we were kind of going, great, jumping in, no bother, lovely. So then the kids went to school and telling their friends in school about rounders. And we got colonised by kids. Kids just took over. And then there was a couple of adults kind of saying, oh, this is what are we going to do now? We can't play now because we don't want to be running over kids. And I was kind of saying, Dad, I understand where you're coming from, but this is new to me too as well. Just give me a chance and I'll try to figure out something. So, so then all kids started taking over. And I was trying to balance kids playing with adults and all that.
It's tough.
And it was always tough. So now we're after coming to a stage where Wednesday night at the Lock is for kids and adults, kids and parents, which is brilliant. So you get kids and parents playing together, which is fantastic. There's a lot of single parents and even stay-at-home parents, and it's a great time for them to get out and actually start playing with their kids, developing families, the whole lot. So I completely welcome all families to come, the whole lot. And it's great seeing parents playing with their kids. Not many parents get the chance to play with their kids anymore. So on Wednesday at the Lock, we welcome everybody to do that. Come out and have a great crack. Like, let's get everybody out. Let's the whole place out. Last year when we were playing, we had because when the school's finished, rounders becomes the main thing, and I want them all to be playing rounders out the Lock, right? So like we had last year, we had all the kids playing, and then we had the parents and stuff like this having picnics, having a picnic on the side, and it just became an amazing community thing. So now we've kids and parents playing on a Wednesday, and we're starting back now for the first time in a while, adults rounders on a Friday. So all adults, and it's a great game, right?
This is tomorrow night now.
Tomorrow night now at the Lock, we're going to have rounders for adults, and this is going to take
off. I'm there.
This is going to take off rapidly quick, the same as before. And there's an interesting part of it too that I learned a lot from coaching rounders, let's say, over the last few years, right? Especially with adults, it's very interesting. I didn't expect this, but I realised something very interesting. So you have, let's say if you're a single person in Cork at the moment, right? Whether it be you're a single man or single woman, and you want to go and meet somebody. So what you have to do if you're in Cork at the moment, you go into a nightclub and you start drinking, you start playing chemical warfare with your own brain, and you actually chase the wrong person for you, right? And then we wonder why there's problems within many different relationships down the road, because it didn't start from, let's say, a healthy environment in the right place, like-mindedness, the whole lot. And if let's say if you're in a nightclub and you see someone that you like or fancy, look how hard it is for you to walk up there, right? Portray that I'm a good fella, I'm a really good fella. Let's have a dance and try get a date or try meet someone or whatever out of it. But I realised rounders, I seen something very interesting happening in rounders. Because men and women play rounders, it's a healthy thing to do, like-mindedness. The amount of relationships that just started arriving out of adult rounders was amazing.
Funny, isn't it?
I didn't expect that. I'm playing rounders, and then afterwards you see people going for a romantic walk around the Lock. and kind of going, this is lovely. So what we do for adults rounders as well, it's on a Friday night, so we're promoting a non-alcoholic, healthy thing to do on a Friday. So it's a really cool way of doing something on a Friday that is not expensive. So people come, and it's free to play rounders. Everybody comes. We all get involved in rounders. And then afterwards, into the Hawthorn for a cup of tea or a coffee. And it creates, so you have a healthy sport. People are active, healthy, the whole lot. We do it really cool. And then afterwards, into the Hawthorn for a cup of tea, a coffee, where people can actually connect with each other and get to meet each other, and just keep it that simple.
Yeah.
Keep it that simple.
And then there's no awkwardness, because you just have to play in a game. Everybody has stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Someone's going to fall and make a fool of themselves, so we can talk about that.
But you see, the beauty around us, I think, is this, right? Let's say you're up on bat, right? When you're on bat, you're king dingling. The kids love being on bat because they're now the king dingling of the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we treat them as such too as well. But even with adults, right? Somebody bowls the ball to you. When you whack that ball, all inhibitions go out the window. You have to feckin' leg it, man.
Yeah.
You have to feckin' leg it. So you see, so it breaks down all barriers.
Yeah.
Everyone's running around like a lunatic.
So going from king to runner.
It becomes chaos in the most beautiful way.
Yeah.
And I think it's because rounders is a mad sport. It's a beautiful sport, but it is a bit wild, right? I think that feeds into the psyche of Irish people.
Yeah.
People are at work all the time and all strenuous thing. They like to just play rounders and just be able to play and have fun.
Absolutely.
Like, we need sports in Ireland that are fun. We want to get people out, have a bit of crack. Like, when you leave the pitch, you want to be able to say, that was a great crack, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with the no pressure. So, like, that's what we're doing with the kids. We're getting them, that's the main thing we're getting into them. But even with adults, it's amazing, right? Because let's be honest, right? Let's say, you'd be surprised how much you run. So basically with rounders, you have 4 bases, and the bases are 25 meters apart. So it's actually a 100-meter sprint is what you do when you go, right?
Yeah.
So it is, we keep it fun and everything, but you'd be surprised how much even though you'd be a bit jogging here, there, and everything, you'd be surprised how much you jog. Now, as well as that, let's say if you haven't played sport in 10 years, right? You haven't played any competitive sport in 10 years, look how hard it is for you to get into, let's say, go onto a hurling pitch and play hurling. It's very difficult, and it turns a lot of people away. So I see with rounders, I see that as a stepping stone to get people back into any sport, whatever that is.
Absolutely.
Especially like, even with GAA clubs, everything. So I see it a great way as developing clubs, but also developing communities, right? So I'm looking at, for me, it's a massive community health initiative. And yes, I do want to develop rounders in schools, in clubs, but also on community levels, right? Which is brilliant. And I actually became a ref. I became an official GAA ref as well, rounders ref, to be able to do it right and do it properly. And it's great. So we're getting a good support from a lot of people. Now, a lot of people ask me, where am I going with rounders? So, like, obviously I'm looking to get a lot of clubs playing and schools tournaments, all of this kind of stuff. But not just that, I want family tournaments as well. Yeah. Like, you have, let's say, the rugby sevens. I'd like to organise the rounder sevens and families and get families playing against each other, which develops a family unit. Like, you look at a business, right? A business all has a business meeting.
Yeah,
families today, they need a bit of money. So the families are kind of run like businesses in a strange way, but nobody has a family meeting.
No.
We should have a family meeting. But at least with the rounders, then they're all playing together.
It's just time to connect.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
100%.
And give people like jobs to do, right? Or this is this, you know.
And that's it. And everyone feels important.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got a role.
Everyone has a go on bat. There's no problem. It's cool, right? But one of the, like, we were talking about this beforehand, and what I would really love to do, right? Is this, and it's great to say it now, right? I love rounders, but I also want to develop a rounders team for the homeless community of Cork.
Oh, yes.
Right? Let's get the conversation started there now, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's get everybody involved, and let's develop a rounders team for the homeless community of Cork, right? And it's not for homeless people to be playing against homeless people to be playing against us, playing against different communities, homeless people to be playing against GAA clubs. Now, as well as that, I want to get which is great. It gives homeless people something to do during the day, a reason to live. Yeah. But I also want to, even with sponsorship for a homeless team, put it out to tender to actually all different health organisations and health food stores and all that, and actually get them supplied with all health foods, all this kind of stuff, and get them having fun, playing, and let's keep them healthy.
And it's getting healthy, exactly.
Getting healthy, and now let's train them. Let's train them.
Yeah.
Let's train them.
So not only will they be playing, they'll be training as well. So that's 2 days of the week. Do you know what I mean? If nothing else, you know what I mean?
If nothing else, but it gives them something fun, and they feel they're part of something.
They're not sitting in doorways wondering where's the next something coming from. They're out there. They're getting active. They're becoming part of the community.
100%.
And as you say, which is a great thing, is not to be just mixing with the homeless, because then they're just over there playing and we're over here playing. There's no diversity.
This is Cork.
This
Cork,
is it.
We all love Cork. Homeless people love Cork. Everyone, we love Cork, right? It's all about Cork.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's all about Cork, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, definitely, I want to develop homeless rounders as well, right? And not just. I think we have the ability to set a template in Cork with that. And let's say we get them playing in a pitch, even if they're playing out the lock or if they're playing wherever we get them playing. Yeah. And I'm sure many GAA clubs will only be happy to kind of get them all involved. But imagine we get out supporting them. Come on, lads. We get them all out supporting them. How cool is that?
Unbelievable.
And how cool would that be from Cork?
Cork.
We're not giving out. We're doing something.
Exactly.
And I think everybody gives out about the political realm and politics and all this kind of stuff. Politics has gone so bad in Ireland that politics can't even help itself. So there's no point in us being dependent and going, oh, can he help us, lads? Can he please?
Throw in the towel, we're fucked here.
No, lads, stop that. If you want to do that, you can go over here. we're over here and we're trying to do something, right?
Yeah.
We've great people involved. Let's us do it together,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Let's develop.
It's about taking action. If we take
100%.
action, we don't need politicians. You know what I mean?
Politicians.
No.
And I've slept on the streets there with homeless people in Cork, right? I know the crack. I've chatted with a lot of them. I wanted to find out what's the crack, you know? And there's an interesting part when it comes to homelessness, right, that I realised, right? So, like, fair enough, you have a scenario where, let's say, with the homeless community, and people talk about drugs, the homeless communities, and all this kind of stuff, drug abuse, all of that kind of stuff, right? But to be honest with you, one of the biggest problems we have within homeless, and I've heard this from many homeless people as well, right? So what happens is they're in shelters and all this, and they're surrounded by, let's say, drugs and a negative environment, right?
Yeah.
But then they can go in and get treatment in Taper Lodge, Arbour House, and all that, and the taxpayer pays for it. But when they come out of Taper Lodge, they've nowhere to go.
They're going straight back into
They've
that
nowhere to go.
negative.
So the let's say the most sensitive and the most vulnerable homeless we have are ones who come out of Taper Lodge and have nowhere to go. They want to start fresh. I'm fresh.
They're like born again because they have to live in a life of
100%.
drugs and everything. That's what kept them comfortable. So now they're in a new realm, and they're taking the first steps back into the community. Right, here we go. I'm going to take clean. I'm going to do this. Where do I go here?
Where do you go? And they're the most vulnerable. So like, I've had a chat with some homeless people like this, right? And they were saying they're actually scared to go back into shelters, stuff like that, because they're scared to go back into the very environment that caused their own drug problem.
In the first
but
place,
what they said is, so a lot of, when we talk about homeless people sleeping on the streets, a lot of the ones sleeping on the streets are people who came out of Taper Lodge and all that, and they're scared to go back into the very environment that actually, that created a lot of the habits and all this kind of stuff because of who they're surrounded by, you know what I mean? So what happens is they come out and they're on the streets for about 3 months, but then they need a bed. So before you know it, they go in, and before you know it, they're back in the cycle. We need to break that cycle.
Absolutely.
We need to break that cycle. And what about using rounders to break that cycle? Anyone who comes out of Taper Lodge, straight away, we can get them playing rounders.
Phone this number here. Have Taper Lodge have a card for you
time.
or the organisation.
100%. And as well as that, even when it comes to rounders and stuff like this, right? I'm friends with very interesting people. I've learned a lot from being involved with the Cork Integrative Health community, right? I learned a lot. So one of the best things about the lock is the fact that on a Wednesday I get all parents and kids playing.
Yeah.
So the parents themselves become the coach.
Yeah.
Parents become the coach. Now, let's say when homeless people come out of treatment and all this kind of stuff, we can all coach them.
Of course.
We can, as the Cork community, anyone who wants to get involved, we can all start coaching them, getting involved. And that's what's needed. They need support networks. Like, Cork is a very small place. Like, we have the ability to make a better impact than anywhere, and lead by example.
Absolutely.
Absolutely lead by example.
Because I know for myself, I'm in recovery myself, you know, and I've been to meetings all over the city and whatever, and what it is really is there's a fear of community because the people are all hustling, bustling out there. They all have money. They all have this. They all have that. We have nothing. We're just fucking drinking our lives. When I tried to stop, I still had this huge fear of not relating with other people. I never wanted to relate because I thought if I stepped up to the mark that I was just going to be wrong at some point. So, no, luckily enough, I kept going with it, and I grew confidence, and I grew how to speak, and I grew how to even doing this. This is just me coming out of my comfort zone.
This is brilliant.
Yeah,
This is
you know what I
brilliant.
mean?
This is what's needed.
Exactly.
And I love the way it's Cork. It's
exactly,
local, and people can relate to that.
And what we need is the community to get behind people who are coming out of treatment.
100%.
And to know that, Jesus Christ, that's Tommy down the road. Tommy just never talked to you because you were in a bad place. He couldn't do nothing for you.
And Tommy didn't think he was able to help for a
Yeah,
while.
exactly.
You know, and as well, let's say a lot of people today are giving out about, let's say, city councils and governments, they're not helping us and all that. The truth of the matter is, if you look into many city councils are so tied up with contracts, with different thing and that thing. A lot of them can't help even if they wanted to. They're so tied up. So we need to help. We as the community need to start creating, and we can help them. Like, you know, then you're helping any council too as well.
Exactly,
So they need people doing this.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, this is Cork, lads.
Yeah.
Let's do it right.
I
think, like, when people are giving out about governments and politics and all of that, like, I think the most important thing is to build communities. Build healthy, sustainable communities. Now, when you do that, that's the answer.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Let's build healthy communities. So I do a lot of events in Cork, right? I'm learning all the time, right? I'm learning all the time. I do a lot of really good events. So there's another event there that I've done as well. I call it Messages in Water, right? Based on the teachings of water and community and unity and all that kind of stuff. So many people might have seen it before. When I get everybody surrounding the lock holding hands.
I was actually going to go up to that. Was that you?
That's me who organised that, yeah.
Jesus, yeah. Because I was actually going to go to that, but I couldn't make it. So but my sister and her friend went instead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
So this year now, it's going to be beautiful. It's on the 21st of September. That's what I mean. This is what we need.
Yeah.
I want other people to whatever from what I've learned and get great people in.
I can't believe it was you.
yeah, that was
That's
me
funny.
who organised that.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. If anybody's seen photographs, absolutely beautiful. This year now, I'm definitely going to get the whole way around the lock with everybody. The idea behind the Messages in Water event is
was that
very
for suicide?
simple.
No.
Very simple. What I do is I get everybody holding hands surrounding the lock just to show you just how many people are there to support you if you're ever in a dark place. Keep it that simple.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody, it's not just talking anymore. The kids who turn up, everyone turn up, you see. So we're all there to show you just how many people are there to support you if you're in a dark place. Like my nieces, when they seen everyone holding hands, they're just going, and I'm going, yeah, they're all here to support you if you're ever in a dark place.
That's
and
brilliant,
that's brilliant.
That
so like if we get the whole way around, I'm going to push this to get the whole way around the lock this year. Right? And I've actually friends with drones and stuff like that to take pictures of the whole thing.
Lovely, yeah.
If we get a picture of everyone in Cork surrounding the lock, showing that the amount of people there to support you, Cork becomes a beautiful place then.
That's beautiful.
What a message to put out. So this year we're looking at, if anyone's involved in it, it is a mental health, positive mental health, but we're looking at creating positive mental health teams in schools and stuff like that and getting them all involved.
Yeah.
So obviously the Messages in Water event has been happening a few times, and it happens in September the 21st for the autumn equinox. So yes, fair enough, I kind of got it going for a while and developing it, and it's beautiful. A lot of people, loads of people are getting involved. But what I want long term with Messages in Water is, let's say, get all mental health teams from different schools involved, and then I'd like to one day then pass it on to them. So leave them create the whole thing, and the schools and everything design it, and we turn up and support the kids, and the kids send out the message then of mental health. We're all here, everybody, and that's a goal for me.
That's brilliant.
I think if we do things right and we get great people together, we can actually turn Cork into the health capital of Ireland, leading by example.
Yeah,
big time.
Definitely,
big time.
Definitely.
So, like, if anyone's out there and they want to get in contact with me, just connect with the Cork Integrative Health Community. We have a group and we have Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
We're back.
We're back.
Don't worry.
So you were just saying that you're a Cork Integrated Health.
Yeah, it's like, obviously, yeah, I have a platform that I run called the Cork Integrative Health Community.
Yeah.
So we have a group on Facebook. If you look at it, you'll see everything to do with health, and everyone's advertising things, which is brilliant, right? So if anyone wants to connect with me, and my own name is Gerard Banks, you'll catch me on Facebook. And what I want is people who want to get into doing really cool community things, connect to me, man. We meet for coffee. We sit down and have a chat. There's no bother, like.
Ideas are endless. Do you know what I mean?
Endless.
And throw it out there, as they say, and it will something might come.
Throw out there. I was at a meeting there one day, and it was amazing. It was about greening Cork and putting all the. Let's say in Cork now, you see everyone's doing a bit of gardening and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. Everyone's involved. So I was at the immediate launch of that, right?
Okay.
And there's an amazing guy with a gifted mind, I would say, and he was the leader of it, right? So, like, and he's absolutely great man, and he's involved with great organisations in Cork. So he got everyone in the room. He got a few different rooms, right? And let's say, are you in room A, B, C, or D, or whatever? So we all went into a room, and that room was for an area in Cork. So
brilliant.
are you at Shandon Street? Are you at Barrack Street, whatever? So you go into the one you're in. I went into Barrack Street, right? And what he done was something amazing, and anybody can do this, right? So what you do is you when you go into the room, and this is how you simply facilitate a meeting. Divide everybody up into 4. If there's 20 people in a room, divide everybody up into 4, right? So there's 5 different tables of 4. And then you go in first and you put a bit of paper on the table, right? And you say, lads, what's your dreams for this area? What would you love to achieve? No barriers, no nothing, just write down your dream. So everybody spends about 15 minutes writing down their dreams, but nobody on the other table knows what the other people are doing, right?
Okay.
And then you come back after and say, right, lads, here's another piece of paper. Can you please prioritize your dreams? Which is the most important and which is the most achievable, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
then they're all thinking, yeah, we'd love to do this or whatever, right? And then come back 15 minutes later and say, right, lads, put your name to it. Everybody put your name to it. Put your name to whichever one you're going to do. And in a week's time, we're starting. There you go, boom. And in a week's time, we're all going to work together to get all the material and do it. And that's how...
Jesus,
That's how you do it, like, simple as that.
And all it is connecting people together.
That's it. Possibilities are limitless when you connect good people together.
Absolutely.
All I do is, I feel like I'm just joining the dots.
That's it, all it
Join
is.
the dots,
Yeah.
just join the dots, get them all together.
Yeah.
It's like, yes. There's amazing people out there.
There is.
And it's just connecting with all them, really.
Connecting,
Like,
that's
you know
all
what
it
I
is.
mean?
It's just getting, like that, just getting like-minded people together.
Yeah.
People who just want good in every. Like that's what I learned because I never felt that was happening anywhere.
Yeah,
I just,
yeah,
do you know
of
what I mean?
course, yeah,
Do you know?
of
And
course, yeah.
especially, I don't even think it had anything to do with my recovery or anything. But like to see it, I had to go through recovery.
Yeah.
But even before, I think there's people out there who aren't addicts, who still think that there's no goodness happening.
Yeah.
That it's all a money business. That you have
Yeah,
to
of course.
own a business to make
course.
money, to live, to do this. Whereas like there's a whole community that
Massive.
can make things a lot easier for everyone else. If
Massive.
One, you know?
Like, people might have seen a video that I done a few weeks back. I was actually dressed as the Mad Hatter, right? And it was the Mad Hatter's tea party out the lock. And there was a video of it. That was me dressed as the Mad Hatter, right?
Excellent.
So there's a concept called Street Feast where you put tables, right, and chairs, and then you invite the whole community to a potluck street feast where everyone brings a small bit of grub, whatever.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
just have everyone together chatting. So you're rebuilding community structures, right? So we had the Mad Hatter's tea party at the lock there recently, and wow, about 600 people turned up.
Serious?
Wow, we had kids everywhere.
I
It
think
was
I seen a
beautiful.
picture. Was there a big long table?
Oh, there was a big long table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there was a
see that,
marquee
yeah.
and everything. Barry's Tea sponsored a tea. Super Value involved. Centra involved. Butchers involved. The amount of food that was given. And in fairness, I'm going to mention them, the Party Company in Ballyvihan.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing people who supported a lot with that. Great people. Party Company, fair play to them.
Fair play, yeah.
But yeah, it's like the amount of food that was given.
Yeah.
The amount of food that was given from all the shops, mothers bringing cakes, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You're standing there going, wow.
This
This is how it's done, like.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is how it's done.
That's a warm feeling, though. I
Yeah.
think that anyone, it's like going to your granny's house and she makes dinner and she
yeah,
makes
yeah.
a dessert.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're going, yes.
Yes.
Tea and
That's-
apple tart after
that's what it's
bacon and
about.
cabbage,
That's what it's
you know.
about. So what I look at there now is I look at Cork, right? And let's say you look at Mahon and Blackpool and whatever. So I'd be kind of going, right, what's the difference between Mahon and Blackpool health-wise? What's the health problems in Blackpool and what's the health problems in Mahon? And why aren't those health problems there and what's missing there and stuff like that? So I would look at the city from that perspective. And then I'd look at creating community events as a means of healing the fractured and problems that we have within society.
Yeah,
So create the event to heal the
yeah.
problem.
That's
Like,
brilliant.
there's nobody playing rounders at the lock. Let's get them all out.
Yeah.
Let's get them all out. So the problems that we have are actually the solution. What I mean by that, wherever there's a major problem, there's a demand for the solution. Whatever there's so let's say in your area now, there's nobody playing in the street, nobody doing this, that, and the other. Just create an event to get them all playing out in sport. They'll all turn up, like.
Yeah.
Or send it on to me, and I'll post it on the Integrative Health Community and invite the whole city anyway.
Yeah.
There's no problem. We'll all give you a hand. We just want to get everybody back out. Let's get everybody out, having a bit of crack, and getting healthy.
That's excellent.
That's
Because
what
you
we need,
need them
like.
events. Like you need them because even if there people was out, you get more people at an event because it's an event anyway. You know what I mean?
And just to give you an idea and a scope of how this works and what can happen. So like, I was looking at Cork and looking at different places and looking at the energy of dark energy here, there, and everywhere. So if anybody knows where the skateboard park is in Cork,
By Fitzgerald's Park.
by Fitzgerald's Park,
Yeah.
Across the way there, there's in the
Beautiful
private trees.
little grass,
There's a place where people take drugs and all that kind of stuff. And
Is that what goes on?
drinking
Yeah.
and- oh yeah, and inside amongst the trees there, right?
Okay. Yeah. I know.
Across the way.
Yeah.
I was looking at that
Sorry.
going, right, so that's a bit of a negative energy, and whatever happens there is obviously influence or negative impact on the skateboard park. So I was talking to friends, I was saying, how can we fix this? What can we do? Is there anything we can do to fix this? And then we just said, right, we just put together an event called Clean Up Cork. Clean Up Cork. And we're going to get people out into that place and we're going to clean it up. We're just going to clean up the problem and make it nice and make it safe, the whole lot. right? So I organised Clean Up Cork. And then that morning, loads of people turned up.
That's brilliant.
People turned up with bags, everything. And we started cleaning for a while. And then at the very end, when we were finished, people came up to me and said, thank you so much, and shook my hand. And I was looking at them going, you're the one who picked up all the needles and the cans and all that. And you're saying thank you to me?
Yeah.
I was kind of going, I'm the one who's saying thank you to you. I couldn't understand the reverse roles. Like. But the truth is, people want to do it. People want to clean up the place. They want to do this kind of stuff. Everybody wants to be part of the community, right? So let's say even what we need to do as well is, even if you look at, let's say, quick example, just to plant the seed in people's minds too as well. Let's say you look at where Collins Barracks is at the moment in Cork. There's a lot of elderly people living around there because it's an elderly area. But we have nothing for the elderly people to do. Nothing. So simply look at the area, whatever's missing, put it in. If there's no, let's say, walking club, if there's no this, that, the other, just set it up and invite them all. Invite them all. Just go to your local bingo hall. There's 500 women in every bingo hall in Cork. Just go in there and start talking to them. Word will spread like wildfire in the bingo hall.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's say what I'm looking at as well, what I'd like to do there in or even simply around by Collins' Barracks, where the elderly people, we can set up a walking group, right? So what we do is, it's not just a group where they meet some point and walk around. No, if you have depression, a lot of people with depression stay in bed a lot longer. Sometimes they stay in bed for the whole day and all this kind of stuff. What if the walking group walked around and knocked at his door? How you doing, Johnny? How you doing, Johnny? Come on, Mary, you come out for a walk. Come out there for a walk. And simply get them out walking around the place all together, building healthy communities and stuff like that. Things like that simply everywhere.
It's a little spark, that's all it is.
Whatever's missing, there's no point in waiting for councils to do it, right? The mayor has to be at a lot of different places. They're busy people. We do it. We have nothing to do. This is interesting. Friends started looking at the internet, the systems of scanning internets and Google and all that. Do you know what are the two most Googled words in Cork every month? Right? Interesting. Volunteering and community.
Serious?
Are the two most Googled, which is a very proud thing for the city of Cork to say, right? The biggest volunteering community in Cork are the over 65s. They have nothing to do and they want to do something. They're the people who will get involved all the time. If you want any help, the over 65s are the ones who want to help. Like you look at, that's why the water protest was so successful in the Ballybehan area. Because the over 65s all got together and that's it. That's it. That was they all got together. And it gave them, it was brilliant. Because of the water protest, their health improved. They're all hanging around each other again. They're all helping each other out.
And they're walking from place to place.
Believe it or not, because of the water protests as well in the Ballybehan area, the crime rates came out one day. The crime rates in Cork came out, the Garda crime rates and stuff like that. The crime rates in Ballybehan and Toker were at an all-time low. Because at 5 o'clock in the morning, the water protests are walking around with the high-vis vest looking for Irish water, keeping the whole place safe. Nobody was robbing anything because the fucking Irish water people were out there. Look what they done. Do you know what I mean? So that's what's needed. And that's the way it always was in Ireland, right? We're not a modern people.
No,
We're a basic people, and that's the most beautiful part.
We're kind of like a tribal people, really.
We are.
Do you know what I mean? That's where we came from, like. Do you know what I mean?
That's all we know, and that's what we get. We just want to hang around and chat to people, and
it's what we do best.
It's what we do best.
It is like
it's what we do best. Like,
you know, forgotten.
We chat.
The boom modernized us, but it did. It brought in money and it brought in like all this new stuff and innovative Ireland and all. But it's like that's not kind of who we are. Like, do you know what I mean?
Money doesn't even suit us.
No,
we don't know what to do with all that money. We don't know what to do. So, like, that's it. Like, even before the boom, we're just as we are now.
Yeah.
But look, I think with social media, some people give out about social media, but I see it as a tool. You can use social media to bring people together.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what we can do. So anybody watching this who's interested, connect to us, and let's start uniting the whole city. Like,
absolutely.
Let's start doing amazing stuff. I want everyone out cycling, jogging, running, playing rounders. Out the lock, Wednesday, bring your kids, bring the parents. We want the parents to play as well, right? Parents love playing rounders. Everybody loves. One day I had a 65-year-old woman playing rounders, right? When she turned up, she said, I just want to watch and all that kind of stuff. I said, no, join in, you'll be great. You love it. You love it. You love it. Come on. We're going to have a bit of crack. So she joined in anyway. And at the very end, she came up to me and said, "Thank you so much. I feel like a 16-year-old again. You don't.
That's what it is.
You don't realize how much that meant to me.
That's what it
so
is.
anybody can play rounders. Age is not a barrier.
No.
It's not about skill or anything. It's about having a crack.
Yeah,
Just go and have a bit of fun.
I keep getting flashes of a memory like that. I used to be out home, and right outside my front door there was just a little green area in the terrace, and we used to play out there, and each tree was a stop.
Yeah,
And you run. But it was like, and I was laughing last night because you had a safe zone.
Yeah.
For where, like, when you hit it, you can drop the hurley, and
We had no
nobody's
safe zone when we were kids.
We had no safe.
No.
And my cousin threw the hurley and split one of the lads.
I know. So that's the safety
That's
zone
why
is
there is a
very
safe
important.
zone, yeah.
I make sure to keep the safety zone important. But yeah, rounders is an interesting sport, right? Because again, everybody loves it. Everybody knows about it. Everybody has amazing memories of it, but nobody's playing it.
That's it.
So for us, it's an old sport. But for kids, it's a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
And the same love
and the
that
fact
we
that
had
it's our sport,
Yeah.
we should have to be sharing it, like, you know.
And we can all teach the kids rounders.
Yes.
Everybody knows how to play.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Like.
No.
It's not rocket science. Everybody can play, but the kids love it. There's obviously we have to wait till the weather gets better, but I've kids coming to me around Christmas time going, "When are we playing rounders again? When are we?" They love it.
Yeah,
they love
yeah.
it. But it's amazing. The moment you say rounders to people, even kids, "Oh, we play that in school."
Yeah.
Everybody loves rounders.
Yeah.
It's a great game. We can all play it, and we can all get behind it, and we can definitely create a rounders team for the homeless community in Cork.
That's brilliant, because I know one of the lads through recovery that he's actually in a soccer team for the homeless.
Brilliant.
They go travelling to Dublin.
Yeah.
They're actually, I think it's actually might be even Olympics. So,
Yeah.
like, if we keep going with this, it could become an All Ireland thing. You know what I mean?
Big time.
And it's
big
great
time.
to get the homeless involved, like, you know. And it's
Big time. And the thing is too, right? What I've realised from a lot of from dealing with homeless people and stuff like that, some people look at homeless people and go, "Oh, he's useless," or this, that. No, there's fully qualified carpenters. There's fully qualified everything. There's one guy came to me and he was a fully qualified carpenter, and I said, "Would you be interested in doing a bit of work?" He said, "Man, I'd work for free just to be doing something, just to be able to do something."
Yeah.
And I kind of said to him, "Geez, have you ever looked into any of these schemes and stuff?" He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "What's that?"
Hadn't a
So a lot of
clue.
homeless people, they don't even know about the schemes that's going on that they could get involved in.
Because they're so divided, but away from us, you know that. And it's like, that's what I mean, like with the rounders as well. They come along, they're playing with, obviously, not just homeless people, they're playing with people who are working and stuff. Then they're looking for a carpenter, just like this. That man comes up, he's playing, he's looking for a carpenter. Then he gets a job, he's making a few bob, he's back in the fucking game.
Back in the game.
Back in the game.
But even there was, what blew my mind there before was learning that there was a young fella, a homeless fella, sleeping in a tent by UCC doing an apprenticeship.
Jesus Christ.
He was doing his apprenticeship and then going back to a tent afterwards.
Fuck. Yeah. That's crazy. Like,
do you know what I mean?
that's mad.
So the determination is there.
It is, of course.
The passion is there with homeless people, but we just to change their environment.
Yeah.
It's very hard for a homeless person to change his environment if that's all they knew for a while.
Yeah.
But change it. Let's get them all playing rounders.
Absolutely.
Let's create a Cork Rounders homeless team. How cool would that be?
That'd be unreal. It'd be class.
Do you know how cool would that be?
And and it's about connecting two communities, connecting, like, and knowing that it's not like, because I was never homeless, thanks be to God. I've always had a great support around me. But like, I can imagine if you are homeless, it's a negative place to be. First of all, you know you're certain people, like people, we could be walking past people in the street not even know they're homeless. You know, but like, it's a negative place to be. You don't want to talk to anyone that's not homeless because you feel like you've nothing in common. You don't want to be around. So to break down that wall and to say, okay, I'm a human being. I deserve everything that everybody else has.
Yeah.
And that happens slowly but surely, drip by drip. Each game, each interaction, each friendship that's made, each little bond. You finish up the game. As you say, we go into the Hawthorne. We have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and a slice of cake or whatever. We have the laugh and a joke. Yeah, do you know? And then you're creating friendship. You're creating
massive.
You know what I mean? And it just gets them out of their environment for a while. And it will sometimes, I think, when you're in such a bad environment, you feel like there's no way out, so you just kind of stay there because it's comfortable, and you're afraid of change.
Big time. And as well as that, I was obviously helping with the homeless before, so I was surrounded by a lot of homeless. We were sitting down having a chat. We had a fire going. We were chilling out, having a chat. I was trying to see where they come from, what's going on. and they were telling me their stories in life.
Yeah.
Wow. I like life is an education, right? It's not those, like a famous Cork mayor said before, it's not those who inflict the most, but those who suffer the most who shall prevail. So we learn from our hardship, we learn from our suffering, the whole lot. And homeless people have got some of the greatest,
Mindsets.
let's say, learning. Of
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
I think some of them need to start writing books.
Mm.
If somebody lived in a box for frickin' 2 years,
Yeah,
write
yeah.
about it, man, I'll read that book.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll read that book.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what he has, I'll read that book.
Yeah.
So I think we as a society have a lot to learn from the homeless community too as well. To be honest, I think the hardship in life has been learned by the homeless community,
Yeah.
but we have yet to sit down and listen to the learning that they've
what
gone
they have
through
to say.
as a means of us evolving as a whole society.
Yeah.
Like-
And appreciating what.
Oh, we're back,
We're
right?
back again. We're back again.
So there's another point that I'm going to say here now, right? Obviously, homeless people, they've learned an awful lot, and we've a lot to learn from them as well as a society, as a collective, and we can learn from them how to overcome many things, right? Like they've learned the hardship, the slog, they've the survival instinct. They have more survival instinct than anybody,
Yeah.
right? So one day we were sleeping outside City Hall, all right? With the homeless, the whole lot. A few nights beforehand, me and a friend were sleeping outside City Hall. We said, right, we'd sleep out just to see what it's like before everybody sleeps out.
Yeah.
And we were sleeping by City Hall anyway, lying down. And probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we were sitting down by City Hall, and then a couple of homeless people started coming over. And my friend said, oh, there's a couple of homeless people coming over. I said, cool, but we just see what happens. We just chill out, see what happens. And then a homeless girl come up to us, and she said, lads, thank you so much for what you're doing. Go to sleep well. We look after you for the night. We make sure you're okay. Thank you so much for what you're doing, because we were bringing attention to it. And we had the best security in the house in Cork that night. We had the homeless community looking after us. There was nobody going to touch us, man. Because they have a pack mentality, so we were part of their pack that night. And they were so thankful. Then 2 nights later, when we got everybody sleeping outside City Hall, right, we were there with petitions, house the homeless. It was great. Then there was a homeless guy walking past. And he came in and he said, what's happening here, lads? I said, look, we're bringing attention to all this kind of stuff. He said, right, I need to help. I need to help. What can I do? What can I do? I need to help in any way. Is there anything I can help? I said, look, we have a book here. We're looking to get a petition to get signatures, the whole lot. He said, give me that. I'll look after that. So he went out on the street outside City Hall getting signatures. And he didn't stop for 24 hours. He didn't stop. We were looking at him. Everyone who came out of town, he got them all signed and everything. And I was sitting there going, wow, like, talk about determination. Yeah, man, he got 5,000 signatures.
Jesus Christ.
He just got the whole city to sign in support of it. And the next morning, I kind of said to him, I said, you need to tell me, man. I said, you've serious people skills. I said, there's businesses need the people skills you have. I said, tell us, how did you do that? Tell us what motivated you to do it. Wow, how did you just do that? How did you chase everyone who was coming out of Cork on a bike, car, taxi, everyone? They all stopped. He signed them all up. He turned around to me and said, man, he said, I've been on the streets for the last 15 years. I've been begging. He said, this is my first time being able to give back. This is my first time actually feeling like I'm actually doing something, feeling like I'm actually giving back. This is the first time in 15 years that I didn't have to ask for something. I was actually getting people to help. He said, you don't know what this means to me. You don't realize what this means to me.
Almighty.
And that was the first time I'm sitting there going, wow.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Like, there's businesses need people like that. That man, I'd seen him, his sales skills. I worked in sales for a while, but wow.
Yeah.
Like, so you have, they're an untapped into skill set, you know? And so we as the society, I think, as we learn from them, we'll evolve big time.
Yeah.
You know, Yeah, so I think we've a lot to learn from them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think it's important to involve them in society.
Absolutely.
Like a rounders team, it's a great way to start.
It is, yeah, definitely.
You know, without a doubt, like.
Because I'm doing a course at the moment, and we're all training to be personal trainers.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to be getting them tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah. Lads, come on, we're going up there.
Rounders
straight away.
Rounders straight
I
away.
haven't played in years. I haven't, even you had the hurleys down in Middleton last. I was loving it. Like just
Oh, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Hurley baseball bat. So many people don't realise baseball happened in America when Irish immigrants loved playing rounders.
I was going to ask you that. Is there a connection?
Game.
There is a connection.
Massive.
Jesus Christ.
Massive. So rounders is an ancient game that we all love.
And so it was our Irish ancestors went over and just started playing, and that's where baseball came from.
That's where baseball came from.
Yes, I knew we owned this. We own everything.
So rounders is a very ancient game, right? And if rounders can become baseball in America, how can't they become huge in Ireland?
Of course.
Like,
yeah,
you know, anyone can play. You see them with the lock. Kids just like that get it. They're playing. They're loving it, and it's brilliant.
It is, yeah.
So, like, instead of coaches, we've parents helping the kids.
Yeah.
The parents are coming back into the role that they're meant to have.
And they're just getting out of the environment of the home, because sometimes, no, the home is great to have if you have it, obviously, but sometimes you can be in there and everybody's killing each other, and they're, Jesus, where's this and where's that? So just get out for an hour,
get out
for a couple of hours.
Rounders. And there was one mother came up to me there last night, and she said, "This is amazing." She said, "This is the first time in my life that I actually cheer on both teams."
Yeah.
So we're all cheering. It doesn't matter. Like, we're all cheering on the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, go on, yeah.
It was brilliant. Yeah.
And as well as that, you had like some kids would turn up, and some kids would find it difficult because of confidence and, let's say, learning abilities and all that kind of stuff. So you'd see with rounders at the end of the day, when you bowl the ball to someone and they hit it, right? They mightn't be able to hit it properly first, but keep at it. They're grand. There's no bother. But then the moment they hit it, we all get behind them.
Yeah. And it just take off running.
I've seen the confidence in kids morph. Because at the end of the day, when you bowl the ball to someone and they hit it and they get to the first base, it's themselves who have got themselves there.
They've done all that.
Nobody else. They've got themselves there. Do you know what I mean?
It is brilliant.
So it is a great, and that's why it was always successful in Ireland.
Yeah.
Because it's a natural sport for us, like.
Yeah.
Do you know,
it's part of our DNA.
It's
almost.
part of our DNA. It's part of our DNA. Yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant, boy. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's tomorrow night at what time?
Tomorrow night at 6:45 out the lock. We get everyone out the lock at 6:45.
That's brilliant. I'll be bringing the lads out now as well.
Brilliant.
So yeah, Jesus, that's brilliant. Boy. How long we're on for about an hour there, I'd say, we?
Yeah. I'm for about an hour.
Have we?
I have to go to the cinema there in a while.
Do you? We're on, are we? Very good. What are we watching? Nothing too cheesy. No,
Pirates of the Caribbean, I think.
That's all right. That's not too cheesy.
It wasn't my choice, no. To be fair. But no, Pirates of the Caribbean, that's okay. That's where I'm headed now.
That's the job.
Yeah.
I actually haven't got to the cinema in ages.
Yeah.
But brilliant, George. Thanks a million for coming in, by.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So let's get everybody out the lock. Let's get everybody sharing this video too as well, right?
Get onto Ger on Facebook. Ger's is Ger Banks on Facebook. He's got brilliant videos and
the Cork
pictures.
Integrative Health Community, and I just
That's
want everyone to be
another
part of
Facebook
that.
page.
And let's all develop healthy communities. That's what we need, man.
I'm going to share the page to this page as well. So
yeah. So we want everybody getting behind this as well with the locker room talks. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
So
thank you so much.
Thanks a million, bye.
Pleasure, man.
Pleasure, man. Good things are coming. I can feel it.
Oh, yes.
I just want to say thanks actually to the Haven again for letting me. I do it every week. I just want to say thanks for leaving us use the space. It's for free. I thank Sean Wallace for the equipment to hook up to my laptop, and it's just a little platform to spread a bit of positivity, and that's exactly why I got Joran here today, because I knew by talking to him last week that it's oozing out of him. He's pure Cork. And it's been going on a while, but I know I start to see it, so I want ye to see it, and hopefully we can all start something great and just spread this instead of he's using the lock. I'm living on the north side, so I want to see the Fairfield doing it. I want to see the Pearsigs doing it.
And I'll do it.
And you're the same.
Come on to me and I'll get out.
Exactly.
There's no bother.
And and we have to start spreading this around and just...
Lads, we have to get the kids out.
Little tournaments.
We have to get the kids out playing. Like, we have to get them away from the computer. We get them back out playing.
Yeah.
There's no kids playing in parks anymore. We need to get them out.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and even when we're playing rounders, like all the adults are kind of saying, this is it, boy.
This is it,
the answer. Like,
I was there yesterday. There's a little video on the page. I made a little live video yesterday. I was wrecked from body and soul, so I didn't do a podcast. But it was just lovely to see the kids connecting. I was talking to a mum. She's living in Ireland. She was born in Ireland, but she moved to America. She was on about baseball and all this. And it's just to get that people out and start talking to one another. There's no awkwardness, and you're creating a healthy environment. We're happy with kids. You're releasing endorphins in the brain that makes people happy. That's what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? So
that's exactly what I'm. Thank you very much for your attention, lads. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for tuning in. Please like
Rounders,
and share.
see you there.
Rounders tomorrow night.
Wednesday, parents and kids. Friday night, adults. The adults need to have a bit of crack.
Quarter to 7 in the loft.
Quarter to 7 at the
I'm
loft.
being there anyway, so I'll see you all there. Thanks a million.